Okay, so in our question, we are told the diagram below shows a sketch of the triangle ABC, where we know the sine of angle A is 3/5, the sine of angle B is 5/13, and the sine of angle C is 56/65. We're told that the side AC is x centimetres and the side BC is y centimetres. So first of all, we want to show that y equals 1.56x. So what we're looking at here is setting up an equation using the angles and these sides. If I just label these sides further, so opposite side A, angle A, is side A, opposite side angle B is side B, and opposite angle C is sine C. So, in this scenario, I know all three angles, which means I've actually got two angle side pairings, although I don't know y and x, so I'm going to use the sine rule. The version of the sine rule I'm going to use is A over sine A equals B over sine B, since we're looking at finding missing sides and not missing angles. Okay, so when I substitute the values that I know into this formula, A is y is over sine of A, which is 3/5, and this is equal to B, which is x, and x is over sine of B, which is 5/13. So I'm looking to rearrange this to get this in terms of y equal to x. So I'm just going to deal with this fraction first of all. And to deal with this fraction, x divided by 5/13 is going to be the same as, let's not worry about this fraction here for a second because you'll see what I'll do with it in a moment. Flip the fraction upside down and multiply it by it, and I get 13x over 5. And then I am going to multiply both sides by 3/5, which gives me y equal to 3 times 13 is 39, x over 5 times 5, which is 25. This then leads me to y equals 1.56x. Okay, so let's have a quick look at how we get our marks on this question. There's only a couple of marks on this question. First of all, we get a method mark for correctly stating this line here. And then secondly, we get the accuracy mark for a convincing argument that leads up to here. So I mean, really what we're talking about is enough steps here that lead onto the statement at the end here. Okay, and in the mark scheme it says it's got to be convincing, we can't just go from this to this. Okay, so part B says given that the area of the triangle ABC is 4.2 centimeters squared, find the value of x and find the value of y. So what we're going to do here, we are going to use the area of a triangle equals a half AB sine C. So when I work this through, what I know is 4.2 is equal to half times y times x times sine C. Now I can tidy this up a little bit because I can rewrite this 4.2, I can change the sine C. So sine C is 56/65, so what we actually get is 56/130 x y, because the half times the 56/65. Now what we actually have here is an example of simultaneous equations. It wants us to find the value of x and the value of y. So actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sub, and I'll call this equation 2, 1 into 2. Okay, so what we're going to end up with here is 4.2 equals 56 over 130 x times 1.56 x. Okay, so now if I times by 130 and divide by 56, times 130 and divide by 56 to get rid of the fraction on the left hand side, just this bit here, what I get is 9.75 equals 1.56 x squared. And so then I'm going to divide by the 1.56, so I get that x squared, I'm just going to write it around the other way around, is 9.75 over 1.56. I'm just going to leave it like this for the time being, and I'm going to do a square root, so x equals the square root of this 9.75 over 1.56, and we get that x equals, and of course we're going to take the positive root of this because we can't have a negative amount, 2.5. Okay, so then we'll just sub into equation 1. So y equals 1.56 times by 2.5, and so y equals 3.9. Okay, so how do we get marks in this question? Well, first of all, we get a mark for setting up the equation here. So I suppose here some sort of arrangement of this where we've managed to set up this equation using the sine rule. We then get a mark for indicating, and correctly, so this bit here really I suppose, substituted in the fact that y equals 1.56x. We get an accuracy mark for rearranging and getting to this point here, where 1.56x squared is equal to 9.75. We then get an accuracy mark for finding that x equals 2.5, and we get an accuracy mark for finding that y equals 3.9. That's it. I hope that all made sense and that you understood it.